Okay. It is my pleasure today to introduce today's presenter, Janice Porter. Janice is our resident LinkedIn trainer and relationship marketing specialist. She is a master connector and uses her networking skills honed over years of networking in person to create relationships using the power of LinkedIn. She is also a podcast host and invites you to listen to her weekly podcast, Relationships Rule, and is always grateful for reviews. I also have to mention that Janice is an amazing teacher and a very, very dear friend. Take it away, Janice.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that. So I'm going to take a leap from what I talked about as the VP training today, which was your presentation should be designed to educate your networking partners on how to refer you. And so I thought what I would do is not do a bunch of slides and whatever, but talk from my heart so that you can understand what I think makes me unique as a LinkedIn trainer and what I actually do. Now, you all know, or most of you know, because I've experienced training a lot of you, but those of you who don't, I don't mean to take that for granted. It all starts with an optimized profile. And that's always the first thing I do is teach people how to build their profile. And of course, it goes beyond, it goes actually before that. It's like, why am I on LinkedIn? You know, do I want to be on LinkedIn? Are my clients, my prospects, my referral partners, are they here? And if they are, then by George, you should be on there. And so when you're there, you want to be there in the best possible way. Okay, so that's the first thing. And that's the first thing that most people do when they teach or train on LinkedIn. It's what happens after that. When you say, okay, this looks amazing. Now what do I do? Okay, and so the questions become, how do you go forward from there? What do you do first? What are you more comfortable doing? What's the purpose for what you're going to do? And I always divide it into two different things. I try to number one, it's I do it with you, not do it for you most of the time, although I've done a little bit of that as well. But I like to work with people because I can draw them out and their personality out, which we can put into their LinkedIn profile. So then it comes down to two things: messaging strategies and content strategies. So with content strategy, it's like, what am I an expert at? What do I want people to know that I know, that they can say, hey, maybe I want to talk to that person. She knows what she's talking about. And it's how often do you go on LinkedIn and what do you do with that content? What makes sense? What is, people spend a lot of time creating content and it just doesn't get any likes, doesn't get any comments, doesn't get any shares. So are they doing something wrong? Or do they even know how to find out whether it's working or not? So just as an aside, I know there were 3 people that kindly answered or 4 people that answered my question. Do you have any questions? And I will come to those questions in a couple of minutes, like really soon, because it's really goes quickly, I know. So content is one thing. The second piece is messaging strategy. Now, this is where I think that I shine because I love to talk to people and I'm curious. And so I teach that to people so that when you are doing outreach on LinkedIn or when people are reaching out to you to connect with you on LinkedIn, there are some things you need to think about. There are some things that you need to do to make it be worthwhile. Okay, so do you have a search strategy? And what I mean by that is, who am I looking for to connect with? Am I looking to find prospects for my business? Or am I looking for referral partners for my business that I can collaborate with? For example, I often use, let's say, Adele is in the health and wellness and NLP world. She might be looking for people who do other parts of health and wellness that she can collaborate with that may refer someone to do NLP training. And so she needs to use a search strategy that will find her those kinds of people that she can reach out to and start to build relationship with. I'm kind of feeling like it's too much overview, but I can't really get into depth here, except to tell you that I want you to notice that I am a detail person, and I will make sure that whoever I teach gets what they particularly need, and usually can tell what they're lacking and where to guide them. So that probably is more important to the fact that, that I'm very conscientious about what I do with people to make sure that they get what they need. And I think that's the biggest thing to get across in that regard to you. So 5 minutes left, and I want to just go into these questions that people asked. One person asked, what's new on LinkedIn? And there's a few things that are relatively new. And one of them I thought I would share, because we have a few people whose names are kind of interesting to pronounce, or maybe get pronounced the wrong way, whether it's your first name or your last name. So there's a thing now where you can record your name, which is kind of cool, because then people see beside your name, they see a little megaphone. And when they click on it, it's you pronouncing your name properly. So Christy, I think you should have it if you don't already, because I can never say your last name, although it's easy when I see it. Suzanne, you're another one, because people will say Susan a lot of the time. So you can only create that on your phone, but once you create it, it will show up on your desktop as well. And if you want to know how to do it and you don't, message me afterwards. Somebody else asked me, is there a way to search for most recent posts? And the answer is yes. And is it quick for me to share my screen? Let's see. Yes, can you see my screen? Say yes if you can.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so if I go to my profile and I scroll down to my activity, that's where you can tell, by the way, if somebody's active on LinkedIn. If they don't have an activity section, you probably don't want to connect with them, because they'll never see your connection request. But sorry, you can go there, or you can go to your profile, drop down and go posts and activities. And right here, it shows, you can see all your activity, and it's chronological from the newest down, or just what you posted most recently, or what articles you have recently created. So I hope that answers that question. Okay, so when it's all activity, it's your posts, but it's also what you may have commented or liked or shared as well. Okay, I wanted you to see that. And the third thing that somebody asked was, how do you get rid of or stop getting direct messages that are spam? Well, I've got to say to that, they're everywhere. Okay, so you need to be really diligent as to who you reach out to connect with, and do a little bit of homework on that. And when people are reaching out to connect with you, you want to look at their profile before you ever connect or accept that connection request. And when you look at their profile, or their picture to start with, if they even have one, or, there's stalkers in every social media. Blair, I'm sure you can attest to that. And so it's really you being diligent in who you connect with, or how you decide who you're going to connect with. So those were the questions that were asked, and I thank those people that asked me. There's 1.5 minutes left on my time here. Is there anybody that has a question right now? Oh, Anastasia had a question. I didn't answer that. I'm sorry. It was about the number of connections. It was about using
third-party schedulers.
Right. Personally, that's not my thing. I have to do everything organically. And I think you actually answered your own question, in that somebody with a larger audience would not find the difference as quickly as someone with a smaller audience. But I think what that brought up for me was that you need to look at your dashboard on a regular basis and the posts that you create, and really look at how many views are they getting, how many people are liking and commenting and sharing on them, the engagement piece, because that's what LinkedIn is all about right now. And it seems that the more you engage in and converse on the comments on others, it feeds the algorithm, and and LinkedIn likes that, so it will show your posts to more people. I hope that makes sense, because I know my time is like just about up. So great referrals for me are coaches and consultants, speakers, decision makers in real estate and mortgage brokerage companies who can put me on a stage in front of a group of people, and network marketers. They also have groups of people. That's it. I'm done. Thank you. Thank you for that. I hope there was something there. And if you have any questions, please
Awesome.
feel free to